In this package, Governor Domi Emmanuel dispels rumors of arrest of Senator Godswill Akpabio. Professor Nephew Essien becomes the new Vice Chancellor of the University of Uyo. Nigerian Union of Journalists raises committee to plan the 2015 press week. Details of these and more in a moment. A very good morning to you. This is CKBC 45 AM News. I am Agnes Udo King Brown. The state governor, Mr. Domi Emmanuel, has dispelled the rumors making the rounds that the former governor of the state and Senate minority leader, Senator Godswill Akpabio, has been arrested by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC. Mr. Domi Emmanuel was speaking at Ibom International Airport on his arrival from Abuja, where he joined other governors of Nigeria at the Thanksgiving service held at the instance of the Secretary to the federal government. Colonel Edem Efreti reports that the governor called on Akwa Ibom people to learn to appreciate their leaders rather than peddle rumors.
Governor Domi Emmanuel said his predecessor, the Senate Minority Leader, Chief Godswill Akpabio, was not arrested by EFCC as alleged. Rather, he visited the commission on his own to address issues concerning petitions raised against him. Mr. Domi Emmanuel, who revealed that about 4 petitions were filed against Chief Akpabio at the EFCC, said the senator had to repeat his visit to the EFCC office the next day to complete the proceedings of his response to the issues raised in the petitions. The governor stressed that the infrastructures and other good works of Senator Akpabio as governor of the state were self-testamental, that the former governor committed resources accruing to the state into judicious use and for the progress of the state.
A governor who has done so well, who had built everything that you see on ground, roads, airports, name it, had infrastructure on ground. Believe me, he didn't fetch sand from his father's compound to go and build those things. He used the money that was allocated to the state to do those things.
Governor Domi Emmanuel, who stressed that his administration and that of Senator Godswill Akpabio as governor of the state were caught out for service to the people, used the occasion to call on the people to learn to appreciate their leaders, adding that it was discouraging to note how the former governor was being treated despite his selfless service to the state.
I think everybody should see here that both the immediate past government and the present government, we are here to just render selfless service to the people. We are not after ourselves. And this is not self-aggrandizement. We've been given that mandate to lead the people, and we are providing the best that we can. So the people don't stop some of this rumor, oh, Akpabio did this, Akpabio did that. It's totally wrong. That's not the way to tell thank you to somebody who sacrificed a whole lot to build a state. And we see solid infrastructure on ground.
Colonel Edem Efreti reporting.
The new Vice Chancellor has been appointed for the University of Uyo. He is Professor Nephew Essien of the Faculty of Law of Uyo. Professor Essien takes over from Professor Comfort Ekpo, who completes a 5-year tenure by the end of November 2015. Until his appointment, Professor Nephew Essien had been a 2-time Dean, Faculty of Law, and the Chairman, Committee of Deans of the University. He had served as member of the University Governing Council, Senate and Management Committee. A release signed by the university's Registrar and Secretary to the Council, Mrs. Edao Mondak, described Professor Essien as a brilliant scholar who has won numerous awards, distinctions, honors, and prizes in his academic exploits. The new Vice Chancellor commenced his academic career as Assistant Lecturer in 1986 and rose to the position of Lecturer 1 in 1990 in the erstwhile University of Cross River State. He continued in the University of Uyo when he was promoted Senior Lecturer in 1992, Associate Professor in 1998, and Professor of Law 2001. The release also stated that Professor Nephew Essien belongs to many professional bodies including the Governing Council of Legal Education in Nigeria, CLC, the Nigerian Institute of Advanced Association, Nigerian Association of Law Teachers, International Bar Association, and the Nigerian Institute of Management, NIM. Professor Nephew Essien is a Christian and is married with children. The state governor, Mr. Domi Manuel, has advised intending pilgrims from the state to see pilgrimage as a solemn religious exercise meant for the spiritual revelation and national revival rather than regard it as an annual jamboree. Governor Emmanuel was speaking at a one-day orientation seminar organized for year 2015 intending pilgrims held in Uyo. The story is presented in our studios.
Represented by the Special Assistant on Religious Matters, the Reverend Akwa Tang, the governor lauded the theme of the seminar, which was on pilgrimage as a tool for moral transformation and spiritual rebirth, saying this important exercise holds tremendous positive benefit for the pilgrims, their families, home country, and the host nation. According to the governor, the holy exercise enhances diplomatic ties, adding that apart from the socio-economic gains between pilgrims and the host countries, it provides opportunity for spiritual uplift and divine blessings. He said it is why government commits huge amounts of money every year for both sponsorship of pilgrims and organizing the journey for indigents and non-indigents. The governor enjoined the intending Christian pilgrims to be good ambassadors of the state.
I want you to know, number one, from the governor, that you have started enjoying dividends of what? What we are embarking on is a spiritual exercise. Can't take a spiritual exercise. So, before you even start it, pray. Pray extensively and intensively.
The secretary to the Akwa Ibom State Christian Pilgrims Welfare Board, Mrs. Rose Uko, said the orientation seminar was intended to educate the participants on what they are expected to do before, during, and after the visit to Israel. Mrs. Uko noted that the theme of the seminar, as a tool for transformation and spiritual rebirth, was carefully selected to fit the ethics and morals of Christian pilgrims, health tips of the and security consciousness in the Holy Land and abscondment. She stressed the need for pilgrims to obey the instruction of leaders of the team and officials, and commended pilgrims from Akwa Ibom State for always maintaining a high degree of discipline as exemplified in the zero case of abscondment. Mrs. Uko commended Governor Domi Manuel for approaching the seminar and the number of persons to perform this year's pilgrimage.
It is pertinent to know that pilgrimage, apart from being a spiritual exercise, it is a leveler. This means everybody, no matter your rank and position in the society, must obey instructions of the leaders of the team and officials. The Nigerian government has strictly emphasized that pilgrims to Israel are ambassadors of Christ in Nigeria, and should therefore be well behaved in the Holy Land.
Those who also spoke the exercise included Elder Akpabio, who represented the Secretary to the State Government, Mr. Fintan Bassi of the NDLEA, who dwelt on ethics and discipline. Alhaji Idi Ahmed of Nigerian Customs Service spoke on consciousness in the Holy Land and abscondment, while Dr. Niefiok Umoyogo spoke on health.
The member representing Abak at Amepo, Ika Federal Constituency in the House of Representatives, Mr. Emmanuel Ekun, Sunday, led family members, the political class, and other friends across the state to St. Joseph's Catholic Parish, Ibukem, in Amepo, where he thanked God for his victory at the Election Petition Tribunal. Etienne Iba completes the story.
After 6 months of suspense and speculations, the Election Petition Tribunal affirmed that Mr. Emmanuel Ekun won the March 28, 2015 House of Representatives election. The Thanksgiving Mass was also put together to enable the lawmaker to appreciate God for other blessings in his political sojourn and representation in the House of Representatives. In a sermon, Very Reverend Father John Ibebe of Ikot Ekpene Diocese of the Catholic Church said When God calls a man into a leadership position, he stands to defend him. He charged those in position of authorities to lead with humility and fear of God. Father Bebel stressed the need for political office holders to discharge their responsibility for the benefit of the people, described Mr. Ekon as a man favored by God to attract development to the people. On his part, Reverend Father Christopher Etuuda noted that when God is involved in a judgment, it cannot be appealed, and prayed God to strengthen Mr. Kon to discharge his legislative assignments with diligence, dedication, and commitment. In a remark, the member for Obak Etmegwika Federal Constituency, Mr. Manuel Ekon, thanked God and all who stood by him, as well as the PDP, during the legal tussle. Mr. Kon said that the victory at the tribunal was a further proof that the ways of God are perfect and the judgment of the Lord is true and righteous. He said the judgment will strengthen and encourage him to serve his constituency without distraction. The two-term lawmaker said there is hope for the people of Abaget Mekwika, whose mandate he holds, and assured of more life-changing projects. Mr. Kon recalled that he attracted more than 22 projects during his first tenure, including information and communications technology centers at Abak Etmekbu Ika, community halls, facilitated the dualization of Iwukem Azumini Abar Road, as well as water projects. He saluted the church for its prayers, stakeholders from the federal constituency for their support, and assured that he will never betray the confidence reposed in him by the people.
I believe that God has a purpose for that community and federal constituency. I believe God has a purpose through the youth, to the women, the elders, and everybody in this federal constituency through me. The only thing that we can tell them about it, thank you very much. That is all I can say. Thank you, and thank you very much.
The political leader of Etmekbu, Obong Achibongokpan, called on the people of the federal constituency to remain steadfast and supportive of anybody choosing to lead.
Anybody choosing, like Right Honorable Eko has been choosing, is always ordained by God or anointed by God.
The ceremony featured prayers for the church leaders at various levels of government, the lawmaker, as well as sung by choir. Guests were later treated to a reception. Etienne Oibanga reporting.
Governor Dom Emmanuel has reminded the youths of the need for them to be adequately prepared for the industrial revolution in the new Akwa Ibom state. The governor made a call Sunday at Akwa Ibom Church, Okuyo, during this month's Akwa Ibom Youth Prayer Conference, organized by the Office of the Special Assistance on Youth Matters. The report is presented in our studios.
Governor Emmanuel, who was represented by Special Assistant on Religious Affairs, Reverend Daniel Okwata, said the industrialization drive of his government is for young people to be empowered for self-reliance. He said the new Akwa Ibom is for intellectuals and great minds, hence the need for youth to prepare themselves morally, spiritually, and academically by acquiring skills and knowledge that will make them relevant and useful to society.
It is good for our youth fully prepared, so that whenever Akwa Ibom, because I see Akwa Ibom rising above this level, wherever Akwa Ibom will be, our youth will meet up. Akwa Ibom youth, get ready for the new Akwa Ibom.
In his goodwill message, the Commissioner for Youth and Sports, Seimondo Bongoko, described Governor Emmanuel as a disciplined leader with the fear of God, whose leadership style has positively transformed the attitude of young people in the state.
If you want to be leaders of today and even tomorrow, you must shun all forms of vices. A lot is going on with our youth today. Pulling down syndrome, fighting your leaders, writing petitions, going around looking for who to pull down. I want you to be sure of one thing. Whosoever pull another person down have that waiting for his doorpost. And you must abstain from it, you must stop it.
On his part, the member representing Itu State Constituency, President Ositwen, commended the vision of the youths
to seek the presence of God for the good of the state. The essence of the prayer summit, as highlighted by the Special Assistant to Governor on Youth Matters, Mr. Nefio Wadofia, was to gather young people across the state to pray every month for the success of Governor Dome Emmanuel's administration and continued peace in Akwa Ibom State.
We have seen something as youth of Akwa Ibom State, and we have come to say that just like Jeremiah, who was a youth, we have seen Akwa Ibom State that is peaceful. We have seen Akwa Ibom State that has a governor that is God-fearing, and we see the youth of Akwa Ibom State that no longer engage in social vices.
Earlier in his sermon, the officiating minister and resident minister of Akwa Ibom Church, Reverend Ibope Emma, who spoke on the theme of the prayer conference, "The Lord strong and mighty," said it is only the Almighty that has absolute power over all creatures. At the event, the Special Assistant to Governor on Youth Matters, on behalf of other young people in the state, sowed a seed of faith to God as a sign of open doors and continuous blessings upon them. Participants described the prayer summit as rewarding.
So the youth, which Bible said in the book of Joel, their old men shall dream and the young ones shall see vision. We don't have any way to go than to run to God and then pray to God for God to protect our leader and God to sustain our country, Nigeria, and God to sustain the peace of Akwa Ibom State.
So just hoping that this prayer put together will help us, and the government will listen to us and do what they need to do to move us forward in the state. So that's what I think.
The news continues after the break. Stay with us. You're welcome back. The Ministry of Transport has announced plans to commence what it calls transport auditing. The Commissioner for Transport, Prince Godwin Tode, who announced this while appearing on an AKBC TV live program unveiling the mandates, said the audit will involve assessing the number of vehicles plying the roads and areas of congestion to enable government to adopt measures to cushion the effects of gridlock. Except of the program is here presented.
Prince Tode hinted that the government has also procured intelligent traffic lights equipped with automatic sensor to detect the side of the road with more vehicle and as such provide extra time on those axes. Prince Tode explained that the marine sector has been reactivated while government is working on building international jetties in the state. This is said will boost revenue generation and create employment for the people.
The ease of the road through the provision of speed limits, weight limits, zebra crossings, road furnitures which are provided like the signages, the traffic lights, the bus stops, the park and no parking areas.
The Commissioner also spoke on areas of collaboration with security agencies and the Federal Road Safety Commission to ensure sanity on roads as well as regulate activities of driving schools. Prince Tode said the ministry has come up with a Akwa Ibom Transport Management Agency to enhance free flow of traffic and a transporters cooperative to encourage the culture of saving among drivers. He restated the stand of government on the ban on commercial motorcycle operators within the Uyo capital city and called on drivers and the traveling public to patronize government-approved motor parks for safety, reliability, and comfort.
The Akwa Ibom State chapter of the Nigerian Union of Journalists, NUJ, has inaugurated 3 committees to assist it in some of its duties. The committees are the 2015 Press Week Committee, the new Press Center Building Inauguration Committee, and the Planning Committee for the reception of the Deputy Governor. The committees were inaugurated by the Chairman of Akwa Ibom State chapter of the NUJ, Elder Patrick Alberts. Ebuka Okafor reports.
2015 Press Week Committee, which is made up of 14 members, is headed by Mr. Eta Benedict. The new Press Center Building Inauguration Committee, with 7 members, is headed by Mr. Uko Okon. And the Planning Committee to receive the Deputy Governor, Mr. Moses Ekpo, is headed by Godwin Benson of the Pioneer Chapel of the NUJ. Appreciating the committee members, the Chairman, Elder Patrick Albert, congratulated them for being chosen to serve the union and urged them to work hard so as to achieve the set goals. He described them as men of honor and said that they should harness their experiences to enhance the success of the committees. Elder Albert said that the reception of the deputy governor is to celebrate Mr. Moses Ekpo, who is a journalist, saying that time has come for journalists to be proud of their own.
We are privileged to have men and women selected from their respective chapels to perform the task. And we expect that this year's press week will be far better than previous editions. So I want to congratulate the members of that committee and wish that they will give us an enduring outing. The other committees are: one, the inauguration of the projects that we've been laboring to put together in the press center. The committee, unlike the press week committee, has 7 members.
Responding, the chairman of the various committees thanked the union for believing in them and promised to work hard to justify the confidence reposed in them.
And it is on the strength of that I humbly accepted to offer my services to the union, in view of the fact that he has impressed me that he understands what leadership is all about.
We have accepted this task to receive one of our own. And we are not doing that because we don't have something to do. We are doing that because we recognize and we identify with what the leadership of Elder Patrick Albert is doing for NUJ in Akwa Ibom State.
Not accepted his appointment, but I believe seeing is believing. I've seen what you've done, and I promise you that we will deliver.
Ebuka Okafo reporting.
The Transform African Summit 2015 has kicked off in Rwanda with the main objective of promoting and providing high-speed internet access in information and communication technology. Listen more in our foreign news segment with Mercia Carey.
The Transform Africa Summit 2015, a platform that brings Africa's top political and business leaders together to help shape the continent's digital transformation, has kicked off in Rwanda. This summit, themed Accelerating Digital Innovation, has over 2,500 participants, comprising heads of states of several African countries, members of the United Nations Commission on Digital Innovation, top academics, policy makers, executive of top tech companies, young entrepreneurs across Africa, and others. The main highlight of the 3-day event is the review of the Smart Africa Initiative, which was launched at the inaugural Transform Africa Summit and is aimed at promoting and providing high-speed internet access and information and communication technology through partnerships between African governments, private sector, and international organizations. The World Health Organization, WHO, has recommended that the maximum speed in urban areas should be set at 50 kilometers per hour. The body has also stressed the importance of banning drunk driving. The recommendation comes on the heels of a recent report published by the WHO, which has it that about 1.25 million people are killed in traffic accidents around the world each year. The WHO has also urged nations to make the use of helmets mandatory for all two-wheel drivers and passengers. A typhoon that began over the weekend in Philippines has left 2 people dead while forcing tens of thousands to leave their homes. Troops had been deployed to help residents who are trapped, but the flood waters are preventing even military vehicles from reaching the worst-hit villages. Unlike previous tropical cyclones in the Philippines, the typhoon's impact is not so much from the wind, but from the massive amounts of rain.
There is it on a package, but a reminder Then you can also watch AKBC TV News Online by logging on to akbconline.org or follow us on Twitter at AKBC45EU, on Facebook at AKBC Channel 45. Before we go and look at the major stories. The state governor, Mr. Domi Manuel, has dispelled the rumors making the rounds that the former governor of the state and Senate minority leader, Senator Godswill Akpabio, has been arrested by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC. Mr. Domi Manuel was speaking at Ibom International Airport on his arrival from Abuja, where he joined other governors of Nigeria at the Thanksgiving service held at the instance of the Secretary to the federal government. That is enough for this morning. Thanks for watching and have a wonderful day ahead. Very good morning to you.